The D20 plugin has just hit version 2. Big changes. Unfortunately, a lot of the changes are not visible to the user because I refactored the flow code to make use of await and yield instead of ugly callbacks. That makes the code much easier to read, but the users aren't really interested in that because they're not looking at the code. So what has been added in this version that the user can actually see? Well, Talespire dice are back. You can now roll using the automatic random number generator, or you can roll using Talespire dice. And you even have a option to set that for your what it's called offensive maneuvers and defensive maneuvers. So offensive doesn't necessarily mean offensive. Offensive just means anything that you initiate. So that could be skill checks, that could be attacks. Whereas the defensive is anytime something causes you to roll, usually a save. So that way, for a player, usually you'll want both set to Talespire dice if you're using Talespire dice. But there are cases where you might want to speed up the game a little bit, so you can set your defenses to roll automatically. Roll with the random number generator, which basically causes it to roll automatically. That can speed up the game. Or the players can set their settings to Talespire dice, while the GM sets his or her settings to random number generators. So again, that way when a player attacks a NPC and that NPC needs to make a save, the GM won't have to do that because it will do that for him if he or she has the DM side set to using the random number generator. So let's have a look. So I'm going to take this character right here, and I'm going to do a skill check, opposed skill check of stealth. I didn't select a target, so it's going to ask me to select a target or targets. I'm just going to select this one right here. So now we can see we've got the Talespire dice pop up. Now, you can see that they don't automatically roll. If you want them to automatically roll, that's not part of the D20 plugin, but just grab yourself the auto roll plugin and it will auto roll that for you. Similarly, if you would like to do the dice cam instead of rolling right in the middle of the action, again, the D20 plugin doesn't do that, but you can just get the dice cam plugin and then that's where you'll be rolling. So I'm going to make my roll here. And what we'll notice here is here you can see that now this has been changed to show your actual roll, not any modifiers. So those dice are just purely what you're rolling. And then you'll get the usual chat message that adds in all of the modifiers. Now, in this particular case, I'm running on one computer here. So right now, I made a stealth roll. So right now, the target is getting the perception roll to try to oppose me. Because I'm running this on the same machine, I'm getting that roll showing up here. But if this was over multiple machines, this roll now would be showing up on whoever is controlling the target. So in this particular case, most likely the GM. And we can see that on my side, I get a message here that it's waiting for response. So basically, it's waiting for the other side to make that roll. Once that roll is made, it's now going to resolve that, and we can see that the usual message comes up here. Again, I'm GM, so it's giving me the whole message of everything that's happened here. If I was just a player, I would get the player version. Again, all of that is configurable. So if the GM doesn't want to see all this stuff, if he just wants, he or she wants the, the major breakdown points, all of that messaging is configurable. So yeah, so here we saw the situation where both sides had their dice set to Talespire dice. Now again, I can go and go into the edit here, and I can change this. So you can see now in the scroll right by it, right here. So we have offensive rolling style and defensive rolling style. So for example, I can set the defensive rolling style to be auto-generated. And now, if we do the same thing, we'll see that it'll ask me to roll the stealth, but the perception will be rolled automatically. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so I reloaded Talespire, and now if we go and do, if we go do that same skill check again, skills, stealth, okay, again selecting targets, I'm going to select the one target that I did last time. So you can see I'm still getting the Talespire die for the initiation because offensive is still set to Talespire dice. But now you can see that it gave me a message here that it was waiting for response because it still had to go and go to the remote and have it roll. But you can see that then it resolved everything automatically without the other side needing to roll, because in this particular case, I've got the defensive set to the random generator. And now be careful with that, because the settings on your machine are for you only. In my case here, because I'm using the same machine for both the initiator and the defender, it affected the defender. But if you are playing with a group over the internet, then the settings for defensive and offensive are only for you. So if you set yours, let's say both to Talespire dice, then if you initiate a roll, it's going to use Talespire dice. If somebody causes you to make a defense, usually a save, it's going to use Talespire dice on your side. But when you make a roll against, like, when you make an attack against somebody that has to use the defense, it's going to be their setting that dictates whether or not they're using Talespire dice or random generator. So you can't force another player or GM into a selection. The selection is for your computer. And that's it for this release. Again, a big portion of this was refactoring the code. So the dice are really the only new thing for now. And that's about it. Now in this update, the version 2 of D20 Plugin, there have also been minor changes to the D20 editor and the converter. In the D20 editor, we have added now public and private, public and semi-private and private options. So if your private or semi-private is not checked, it's going to be public. If it is semi-private is checked, then only the GM and the instigator will get messages. And if it is private, only the GM will get messages. I think, sorry, semi-private, I believe, is GM, instigator, and target. So it's just basically not other people. And then private is GM only. So those are now available as checkboxes in the D20 editor. And in the conversion, just a minor bug fix there to make the damage and effects write out correctly. And now that's really it. I know these videos don't have great production quality, but they do have a lot of useful information. So please, appease the YouTube algorithm goddess by casting the subscribe spell and then blasting your Eldritch Blast at the like button. It'll really help me out.